in Bridgeville. Yeah.
The home of the all-you-can-eat salad bar.
All-you-can-eat spaghetti tonight also, $5.95. That includes the all-you-can-eat salad bar.
Or, look at that. See, I brought it with you, Colin, because I know you just put the wrong place.
I know this one.
Which one?
I don't need it. All-you-can-eat soup with it also. All-you-can-eat salad bar. Add all-you-can-eat soup with it for $5.95.
This is a visual show, and we use visual aids.
And if you want the crab soup, it's $6.95.
$6.95.
Or $7.95.
He doesn't remember.
$7.95.
Just tell him you're with Jim Weller, put it on the house account, and everything will be fine because this place has a great big budget. Catch it live.
Speaking of Jim Weller, he is not here tonight.
He is not.
He is still, they're in the round 2 of the Great Bocce Ball, the Great Sussex County Bocce Ball Tournament.
Is he an official or is he playing?
Oh, no, he's playing. Yeah, he's good.
Is he still in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's like, this is world champion type stuff here that's going on.
Is
you ought to see the trophy. Oh, yeah.
Big trophy?
Sponsorships, trophies. Oh, this is down in Milton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the bocce ball capital of the world. You didn't know that?
Milton?
Yes, Milton,
Is that
Delaware.
because Dogfish is a big bocce ball player? They have bocce courts at Dogfish.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Wow.
They do. Could never figure out. You go up the front of the building, you have these courts out there. Like, what is that all about? But yeah, apparently it's a big deal.
That's what it is.
So are we expecting a live feed from bocce ball, or?
Yeah, well, this is.
We can see any YouTube videos.
Yeah, this is actually this.
Do we have anything live from there tonight?
No, this is the semifinals. When we get to the championship,
finals.
right?
So Jim will be in the finals. I'm positive he'll be in the finals.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, this is just a formality, is all this is really.
In fact, whether he is even if he's not even near the finals, when he reports it live here on Catch It Live, he will be in the finals, and it'll be he'll be in the last throw of the last game, and he'll lose by an inch and then end up 12th place.
Right. So I mean, if you don't have your tickets right now to it, you are not going to get in.
Is there a Skybox there or something? A Super
oh yeah. Yep. We have
Jim selling tickets.
Yeah, we have Skybox.
So you go to Wellers.com
and
buy your tickets to the bocce ball tournament. I'm sure that there's some special that he'll announce on Friday.
That's right.
So
speaking of tickets, DelmarvaTickets.com. You know what that is?
Is that the place you can get the tickets to the community forum?
Exactly. You can get tickets to the Catch It Live Community Forum,
which is
next Wednesday.
What's that? What was that? That was a website, right?
Yeah.
Give it to me one more time so I can write it down.
DelmarvaTickets.com.
DelmarvaTickets.com.
Right.
Wow.
Yep. So
is that one of your deal too? Is that one of the? Is that a division of Catch It Live?
That is. Well, that's a division of Walls.
Walls Enterprises.
Yes.
Yes. You fix air conditioners. You fix steering, and you also.
And we can fix you up with some tickets too.
Tickets. Good. DelmarvaTickets.com.
This is going to be the Catch It Live Community Forum. We've got almost all of our guests lined up that are going to be there. And it's going to be a forum. We're going to be talking about the budget, the state of Delaware budget. So we're going to have
some people that know.
We're going to have 4 different politicians there. So far we have Dave Wilson, representative from the Lincoln area.
He knows a little bit.
Yep. Representative Ruth Briggs King.
She's knows
from
a lot.
the Long Neck area.
Now, do you have somebody that just knows a little? John
Atkins is going to be there. There we go.
John, I hope you're watching.
I didn't say that.
I know that. I said it.
Yeah. And then we've got...
John's a friend of mine. Is that something to say? John's a good
We've got one more that we're working on, so we'll have to wait to confirm that.
Now, not only do you get to really get an update, but there's also some food involved here too, right?
Absolutely. There is going to be a buffet dinner. We're going to have
Did we say where it was?
It's going to be at Abbott's Grill in Milford.
Abbott's Grill in Milford.
I didn't say. I didn't.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Everybody
knows where Abbott's Grill is.
That's right. It's right
across from Walls Service Center.
That's
right. If you don't know where Abbott's Grill is, go to Walls, leave your car to be serviced, and then come across the street.
That's right.
And it's not very expensive either. How much is it? $25 for this event?
For the tickets, $25, which includes dinner and tickets to the forum.
And the dinner is at 6, right?
Dinner is at 6 from 6 to 7. The forum starts at 7 o'clock. It starts promptly at 7 o'clock.
Now you've also got some other people.
We have some other guests.
You have some real pros coming to help make sure that these people are kept on task. I mean, if you or I were doing this and we were just interviewing them,
right.
We don't have the bite in the teeth that Anthony Joseph does. So you're bringing some real heavyweights to do these interviews.
That's right. Brian Shoup will be the moderator.
Milford Live?
From Milford Live, yep, the Milford Review, Milford online newspaper. Dan Gaffney will be there from Delaware 105.9, the morning host. Yep.
That'll be exciting.
Real pro there. And then we have, I believe it's Brian Dennison from the News Journal. Is that right? Yeah, Brian Dennison from the News Journal. And we've got one more of those also that we're working on for the media.
So this is a chance where people can come. I mean, you're going to go to dinner anyway.
Exactly.
And it's a great I mean, it's a great restaurant, and hear everything you need to know from the people that should know about what's going on with all the money that we Delaware taxpayers. I don't remember what the budget was, $1.3 billion, or it's bigger. It's bigger than the amount that our producer has tied up in his Justin Bieber collection.
Wow.
I mean, it is big stuff, but it's a great opportunity.
Well, we're going to have somebody there after we get done with the forum. We're going to have two people there analyzing. Jeff Craig is going to analyze from the Republican perspective, and John Brady, who brings tons of knowledge on the budget. He's a former House attorney, and he's also the current Sussex County Clerk of the Peace. He's going to give us the Democrat perspective.
So if you really don't have time to keep up with what's going on, you're going to be able to get a crash course, a great dinner, and get all up to speed. And now, is this the first community forum that Catching Live's done?
This is the first community forum where we don't have any definite plans yet, but we are talking about doing at least one of these in each county. And
it's on the Facebook page, right? I mean,
it is.
It's on, that's where I think I saw it. I saw it on Facebook. You can go to catchitlive.com, and I think there's some information there. Is there?
I'm not sure. We need to put a link on there. Brooks will get right on that here, I'm sure, in the next.
It'll be done before this show's over.
Right, he'll have it done on next Thursday.
He's got it. Now, this event, Community Forum, Wednesday, June 12th.
Yes.
Milford, Delaware, Abbott's Grill. Tickets are at www.delmarvatickets.com.
Yes, and we will put a link to Catch It Live to that site.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. The dinner there is always great, and a chance to just to sit down, because you're not expecting, you'd like to. If this will be a real opportunity to get down close and personal with legislators. I mean,
that's right. You're going to have dinner with them.
When you go to Dover, I mean, it's such craziness, and these guys are guys and gals, especially they're so busy. This is a real chance to be one-on-one and really get your questions answered. If you don't get them answered, these experts that are coming in are going to make sure that they're held to task.
I want to add that the $25 also includes dinner, and it includes your admission to get in to watch the forum live, but it also includes your drinks and non-alcoholic beverages, and it also includes gratuity. It includes a tip also. Well, so $25 and you're done. All you got to do is supply the gas to get there.
And if you need propane to get there, we can get it at bringmegas.com.
That's right. Let's not throw too many .coms out. So DelmarvaTickets.com. Get your tickets there.
Next Wednesday. It is next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday the 12th.
It's not tomorrow, but it's next Wednesday.
Right.
So, and you are going to stop selling these tickets. I mean, you're going to get so many, and you're going to stop.
Yeah, these tickets actually are very limited. We have very few available to get in there. So
you better get on
it
right
while
now
you can.
If you want there.
If you wait too late, you're going to have to watch it.
And Jim, if you're listening, I know you like to buy things, buy out all the tickets, and then remarket them at Wellers.com. Yeah. We're not going to let you do that. We're trying to get individuals there. So if we get an IP address from Wellers.com trying to buy 50 tickets, we're not going to let you do it, Jim. You got that?
But anybody else can buy 50 tickets if they want.
Anybody else can buy 50 tickets, but not Jim.
That's right.
So Colin, I'm sitting in for Jim tonight because Jim has been playing Mr. Bocce Ball. Does he have a uniform?
Oh, I'm sure he does.
You got to get some pictures of this bocce ball thing.
Well, I think a bocce ball uniform is knickers. And
that'd be intriguing.
And with a spandex bodysuit.
Well, he's not with us tonight, but we really do have.
What is it? Clam diggers. Yeah. Okay. Well, it might be leader.
Do you know about? Is Matthew going to give us the rules of bocce ball tournaments too?
I don't even know what bocce ball is.
Matt Opaliski doesn't know what bocce ball is.
I can't believe that.
That'll change by the end of the night. He'll have that figured out.
So who's on the show tonight, Colin?
Well, we've got Matthew Opaliski coming up.
And he's going to talk to us.
He's going to talk a little bit about storm preparedness, but I want to get his perspective on the budget too.
Oh, do you think he has an opinion?
Yeah. We don't want to get him going too much on politics, but we're gonna just get his a perspective on the budget and what he thinks of it.
And what about and then coming after that, we've got our main man, Mr. Sizzle,
Anthony Joseph
for the Spinning Wheels Racing Report, and I am sure he is going to have tremendous commentary and insight about the great late. Do you know? Well, we're not going to talk about what happened, but I did figure out that little hit the gas thing cost that guy $175,000 in winnings.
So that's nothing to Jimmy Johnson.
So I'm sure we'll have some opinions and all that, and
Yep.
maybe we can talk about the Saturday race and some local folks that had a car in there that didn't quite win,
That's right.
but
Yep.
got a lot of time on ESPN. And then who else do we have?
We got Joey Melvin coming up. He
Joey
is
Melvin.
the school resource office for the Milford School District.
And he's
resource
Milford
officer.
policeman.
Right, Milford
And
policeman.
there is a ton of stuff going on in schools with protecting our kids and what to do, what not to
Right.
do. Arm the schools, make them barricades, give the teachers guns. I mean, I'm sure, and he is really. He's really becoming a regional expert in this. So
Is
we're
he?
kind of lucky. Yeah, we
Very
were
good.
really lucky.
Just
to
an
get him
all-around
on
good
tonight.
guy.
And he's a good
you
guy
happen
too.
to personally know him.
Good guy, Milford boy. Well, no, I think he's a Harrington boy, but good man, knows a lot about it. I think he's going to give us a unique insight on how this thing's going to go. Do you want to open it with prayer? Do you want me to do it? You want to do it?
You can do it, but don't we have somebody else coming on? We need to talk about?
No, I think
that
that's I think that's it tonight.
Okay.
I think that's the end of the run.
Okay.
We were going to have someone, but things change, times change.
All right. Well,
So how about if
I
we
guess
open- how about-
Brooks is just going to sing for the last half hour, so 15 minutes. So.
No. How about we open us with prayer? Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for enlightening the people of Sussex County and bringing the good things to the community on all the good things that are being done in this town. Please be with us tonight as we do our best to bring glory to you in this town. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
And we'll be back in a couple minutes with
That's right.
Matt
Opaliski
Opaliski
coming up.
He's going to talk about storm preparedness and who knows what else. We're at Catch It Live, the spaghetti capital of Bridgeville. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Catch It Live. Welcome to Jimmy's Grill. I'm Jack Riddle, sitting in for the illustrious Jim,
The bocce ball
champion, who's going to give us a full recap on how to play bocce ball. I'm joined by Matthew Opaleski.
Opaleski.
You know, as many times as you've been around, everybody should know. But what you maybe not know about this man is he's an expert on everything.
No. The way
your wife. You were telling us about your wife's perspective on that.
No, this is the perspective that she doesn't like.
Oh, she doesn't like.
She'll ask me something, and I'll give her an answer. She says, "Well, how did you know that?" And I'll tell her, "Well, nobody knows everything, but I'm pretty damn close." And she rolls her eyes every time.
Well, let me ask you this: do you know how much the all-you-can-eat salad bar at Jimmy's Grill is tonight?
It looks like it's $7.95.
No, incorrect. All-you-can-eat salad bar is $5.95.
$5.95.
And all-you-can-eat daily soup and salad bar is $6.95. All-you-can-eat crab soup and salad bar is $7.95. And what's the all-you-can-eat spaghetti? $6.95.
$5.95.
$5.95. What a deal!
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Deal. I mean, and the place looks pretty busy. So I mean, there's
a lot going on here tonight. A lot of people showing up. A lot of people with spaghetti all over them.
I'll tell you what. My daughter graduated Sunday from Woodbridge, and we were shopping for a place to eat after. Mm-hmm. We were going to stop here, but it was packed, and this was 3 o'clock.
Well, folks at Highway 1 like that.
3:30 on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, it was packed. So
have you ever seen how much chicken rolls through this place? No. It is mind-boggling how much fried chicken.
That's good for business.
It is good for business. It's good for Bridgeville, and these guys do an incredible job.
Yep.
But we're not here to talk about chicken. Well, maybe we can talk about a little bit about chicken.
We talk about chicken.
We're here to talk about storm preparedness. I did not realize that you were a semi-informed person on that, but there's been a lot going on with storms.
There has been, and not so much of it locally, but it's been in the news. So it's something that everybody, for lack of a better term, should be aware of. Keep an eye on the weather and have a plan. Have a plan, whether it's to have a bag, to have somewhere to go. I know that last time we had a Sandy. People who live in the inland bays or whatever, they decided to maybe go further inland, go to Wilmington, go to Philadelphia, go to Baltimore or whatnot. Right. So maybe people here in western Sussex maybe don't think about it as much, but I mean really, no matter where you live in Delaware or on Delmarva, you really should. Because you just never know what could happen. So you should be prepared. You should have maybe what they call it a go-to bag where you have some water and some food and whatever other supplies you might need. If you had to all of a sudden just hop in the car to go. I mean, we do live on a peninsula. There's water on both sides, and
our power comes from across. Down
yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of power, how about a generator? If you're going to ride,
where would you buy a generator?
Well, if you're going to ride out the storm. If there one was coming, you might be able to get one at, say, I don't know, Weller's Utility Trailers, maybe. I believe Jim Weller.
They sell them.
I think he every now and again I've heard him say something about a generator.
Well, having a plan, you're right. I mean, if you look at some of the people that really got hurt in Oklahoma, they panicked, they got in their car, and they tried to leave too late.
Well, I heard one story, and this is the story, and maybe the media played it up a little bit, but there was a family apparently that heard all the rigmarole that was going on, and they decided they were going to ride out a tornado in a storm drain. What happened was the tornado didn't hit, but flooding hit them, and they were trapped in a storm drain. I don't know what logic would make you want to get into a storm drain, but obviously we don't have much of that around here. But that's not the kind of thing you wouldn't want to say ride out a storm. If you lived in the inland bays area in a basement. Not that you'd have a basement, but you just want to have a plan ahead of time so there's not. All of a sudden, where am I going to go? Well, you don't pick the wrong place because you've already set aside a place ahead of time.
Do you think it's true that most people today are less prepared?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was growing up, my mom would go to the store on one time, and we'd have enough food for a week.
For a week or 2
now,
weeks. People shop as need be.
Every day.
Every other day.
So if an event did occur
most
where
people aren't
the
prepared.
Supply lines were cut off, we'd have a problem.
Yeah, well, here, we'll go back to the generator thing. When a storm's hitting, I mean, I'm sure Brooks can probably speak to this. Well, it's packed. People are, coming in to get a generator right before the storm because they're not prepared. So, I mean, that all goes along with having a plan. Where are you going to go? Do you have relatives that are maybe inland or in another area? Like if they're calling for, huge hurricane, tornadoes, superstorm Sandy conditions, and you live in an area that's going to be affected. Now, granted, last time we didn't get hit because it passed us by and hit New Jersey.
Yeah,
but if it was just the opposite,
for 100 miles, we'd have been in serious trouble.
Right, exactly. So suppose it came inland at Bethany and came across the county. think about it. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know. I mean, I have family in Newcastle. I have family.
You're not going to go across the Bay Bridge.
Yeah, I have family in Philadelphia. So, I mean, I could have potentially went there. Although I got to tell you right now, I mean, I don't have one of those two as a specific plan. Now I have a bag, stuff like that, and of course I got 4 kids and a wife. So, the 6 of us we've got a lot of gear.
But most people were just-in-time. I mean, most people don't have. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You can't pump gas in your car.
This is true.
You can't get cash out of an ATM. The grocery stores will be closed.
Yeah.
Electric will be down.
And that goes to your point. Shelter in place. You got to be prepared. You got to have food. You got to sit. Even though a lot of people don't think 2-3 months, a year down the line, but you don't ever know when the storm's going to hit. So you want to have some bottled water, have a couple cases of bottled water set aside. I mean, it's not going to go bad within a year, 2 years.
Now, do you think that our executive producer has a special place where he protects his Justin Bieber collection?
He probably does.
I mean, that's
Matter of fact, he's nodding his head. He
that's
does.
Probably top on the old list.
I think he's got
sure, your important papers.
Before Social Security card. Well, he's got those Ziploc bags with the
Justin Bieber dolls in them. Yes,
the vacuum suck.
It's very,
but having a bag, having clothing, having supplies, batteries, flashlights, even if you could get surplus meals ready to eat, military MREs. People think. But people
we come to Jimmy's and get a big old plate of chicken and dumplings.
Yeah, and there's your thing. But in a situation like that, Jimmy's not going to be open.
He's not.
And if you didn't have enough cash in your pocket, you're not going to be able to pay with a debit card because the credit card machines are going to be down because there's going to be no power. So what do? You need to prepare. I was talking to our sheriff, Jeff Christopher, last night. He just spent the weekend in St. Louis, Missouri, at a sheriff's conference. The hotel they were in, they were on the 2nd floor in the conference room. And when the tornado passed over, he said it sounded like a subway, like he was in, I don't know, say New York, in one tunnel, and a subway was in a tunnel above going over. Nothing on the hotel was affected. They went outside and looked. The Holiday Inn, which was in clear view, the roof was gone.
Wow.
Okay, there's a bridge that they could see on the way into town. They're doing construction, so the bridge had generators. I'm talking huge, massive, like Ingersoll Rand generators,
right.
Trailers, dump trucks, equipment, you name it. They're in the middle doing a huge construction project. Everything was gone. The bridge was empty.
Wow.
Debris all in the water. He said and the river's moving very fast. There were tractor trailer bodies in the river, 2x4, just wood.
Well,
I mean, it was just the bridge was empty. They didn't move that.
How do you prepare for that?
Well, you don't prepare for, but those are, I guess, tangible property. Like if your trailer gets blown away or your car, hopefully you have another one. If you don't have another one, you should have been in it and evacuated. But I don't know how you plan for that. I really don't know.
I think we are blessed. We've got a great system. I think we had the head of Sussex Emergency Management on here a couple of months ago, and I know they've got a great statewide system, and we've got the emergency center, and even with all that preparation, I mean, there is a little bit about a personal accountability here. We've got to take a little bit of responsibility.
Sussex does a good job, and even the folks at DEMA. I think maybe one thing they might be able to do better, and some people may think this is a bad idea, advertise more about shelter in place. Not that you should have to, the government shouldn't have to tell me how to take care of myself, but like you were saying, most people, it's the furthest thing from their mind. And if a storm is coming, say, tomorrow, and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to get hit, if you don't have supplies ready, where are you going to get them?
You ever tried to get in the bread and milk aisle of Walmart the day before a snowstorm?
Oh, I know. It's like French Toast City. I mean, they're,
it's crazy.
And then, especially, here in Delaware, a lot of times we'll get, we're going to get this, we're going to get that, and then it never hits, but there's still no bread, there's still no milk, and there's still no eggs. So I wonder, these people
maybe the bread. I know it's interesting when we get one flake of snow.
Yeah.
The Weller snow shovel machine hits in. I mean.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yeah, that's when Jimmy sells it.
He
sells the him and her shovel.
A bunch of.
Yeah.
All right, now Colin said, since you're on the show tonight and you are the self-proclaimed expert of everything almost, Colin was very interested in your perspective. We've got the community forum coming up, but he wanted to get some input on what you thought about this budget.
We waste money hand over fist. You manage a bank, so you're in business, so you realize you got to live within your means. I'm sure Jim Weller realizes the same thing. Collins realizes the same thing.
Catch it live. Tight budget.
Tight budget. Yeah. although I don't know what they're paying the executive producer to amass that massive Justin Bieber
I don't know either, but
collection. But
he's got family wealth. Though.
Yeah. But
It's inherited.
I think the state. I mean, we just waste. We waste. We just had and it hasn't been approved yet. And I'll go to another.
Was it $1.3 billion? Is that what I heard?
Yes,
that's a lot of money.
Well, yeah, and that's actually not up all that much from last year's budget. But when you think about $1.3 billion, and about 33% goes to schools, about 34% goes out the door through DHS or DHSS, which is Department of Health and Social Services, which is welfare. I mean, in a lot of different ways, it's a lot of welfare. So 34% of our state budget is going out the door in giveaway, for all intents and purposes, giveaways. Now, some programs may be very good, very productive. Yeah, a hand up is fine. There's a lot of abuse, and there's a lot of waste. You know, we spend a lot of money on studies. We spend a lot of money on surveys and having people come in and do these highway surveys that for projects that really aren't a priority and are never going to be built. But we spend a couple $100,000 studying them. They'll come up with, well, here's another one they approved money for it in this year's budget, but they haven't approved the plan yet, just like they didn't last year. But they did approve the money for the gun buyback. There's a gun buyback that they want to do.
Pretty controversial.
Well, it's not hard to give away somebody else's money. So if you have a gun buyback and you allot $200,000,
it takes a lot of administration and people to give away money, though.
Well,
you just can't set it out on the table and let people take it away.
No, but it's
not hard
a lot
of money to give away money.
But it's still easy to do. When you, like last year, when they did the first gun buyback in 2010, they had set aside, it was $100,000. They blew through it in like 2 hours because they had 2 locations. So within 2 hours, the money was gone. So then the governor, through executive order, allotted another allotment of money, so they kept handing out. And I mean, that shows you the success. It's not hard to give away people's money. So when you have all these entitlements through DHSS, and you have people who are willing to take them, it's not hard. It's not hard to get up to, $1.3 billion.
Do you think the budget's going to pass with a lot of fanfare?
Sure, it will. No, it always does. I mean, there'll be some folks who will vote against it just because, but it's going to pass.
Anything interesting in the bond bill? Anything
to be honest with you, I haven't read through it just yet. But I mean, it's there.
There's always some interesting little things.
Well, sure, yeah, they slide into the epilogue language.
A couple overpasses here and there.
In the past, there's been golf courses that have been bought and marinas and such. So yeah, there's always money slipped into the epilogue language of the budget, or I'm sorry, the bond bill, and you might have 1 or 2 representatives or senators who, stand up and beat their chest about it. But even if they don't vote for it, it's going to pass. Sure, I think Colin Benini votes against the budget every year. And I guess at best.
Which would have been interesting if he'd have been state treasurer.
Well, yeah, it would have been. But I think there's a lot of people put a lot of. I think that the treasurer really doesn't. I would say it doesn't do much. I mean, other than their name being on the check. I mean, they don't have the authority to stop spending. I think Colin's big thing when he was running was, it's your money and I'm going to tell you where it's spent. Well, that's great, but the treasurer has no authority to stop the spending.
No, you're right.
So, I mean, it's really like an office that's more like just a
stepping stone. They're responsible for keeping track of the money that's there.
Yeah.
But not the pace of it's going.
Right. I mean, they couldn't say, I'm putting my foot down and we're not spending that money.
Well, Matthew, thank you for coming
sure
on.
Thing.
I mean, we covered the budget, which is one kind of a disaster, and we talked about emergency preparedness, which is another kind of a disaster.
Take it seriously. I mean, a lot of folks don't, but have a plan. I mean, at least if you don't.
Maybe that's a key. The state legislatures have a plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan. Matthew, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We are live here in Bridgeville. The spaghetti is still flying. Come in and ask for Eric because he loves to talk to people. He just loves to put that spaghetti down in front of you. And if you come back to the Catch It Live area of the restaurant, we'll show you the Justin Bieber collection that our executive producer has. There's much more to come tonight on Catch It Live. We are live here at Jimmy's Grill, Bieber and all. We'll be right back. Thank you, Matthew.
Yep, thank you.
And welcome back. We're live at Jimmy's Grill in Bridgeville, getting ready to have the Spinning Wheels Racing Report.
Don't you love that? I mean, that is patented. Can you tell me that?
It is
patented.
It's trademarked.
And every time he says it on the air, Jim Weller has to pay him $5. So now we're up to about $226,000 so that he owes you for that little tagline. Well, the Spinning Wheels Racing Report, this has got to be one of the big ones for you, because I know that you live and die by these guys at NASCAR, and I know this race had a couple interesting accidents in it. One that I thought was going to turn into a fist fight, but
yes, that was funny.
But so let's get your. Where do you want to start with the race? Of course, you want to start at the beginning or get to the end? Where do you want to start with your dialogue on your understanding of what in the world happened in Dover last week?
Well, we'll start with on lap 301 with Ryan Newman getting into David Gilliland in turn number 2 as the incident dumped both drivers, and Gilliland was not happy about it. And it was kind of surprising that Newman, they were beating and banging for a while. And
I
Newman
heard
needed a good finish. He's on a 1-year deal with Tony Stewart-Haas.
It didn't quite come out that way, did it?
It did not turn out really well. He got, I think, a little too anxious. Instead of getting into Gilliland, they were beating and banging, but he did not need to get into him, and he caused the wreck and crashed both cars.
They had some. They were having a few words on the track.
Yes.
They were dialoguing. I think they were asking, like, what are you having for dinner?
I
hope your kids are fine.
Gilliland went over to the car of Ryan Newman, and Newman did not like it because he would not let him out. So he was telling him a couple choice words, I believe. He did not like him.
Yes, they didn't cover that on Fox.
No.
Fox kind of bleeped out the old.
He finally got out talking about Newman, and he was not happy, and he said a couple words to Gilliland, and they went to.
If you're going to nudge somebody out of the race, I think the rule is make sure you don't take your own car with you.
Yes.
And that was lap 301.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it was a pretty accident-free race, which for Dover's kind of rare. And the speeds were pretty good, too. I mean, not a lot of cautions. A couple tires went down, but nothing serious. But really, lap 385. Lap 385.
One thing about, before we get to that.
I can't wait to hear.
No, just want to finish up about Newman. His issue with Gilliland, he was saying he was too slow. He could not get past him, and that's why he caused the wreck.
Yeah. Right. He was banging.
Just wanted to
you watched him
that,
the couple laps before. He was beating all over him,
he
could have got by him.
He just said he was too slow and he had a faster car and he wanted to get past him.
Well, he didn't quite prove that out, did he?
No, he did not.
That didn't quite work out.
It ended his
But
day.
now my favorite lap, lap 385, 15 laps done, in the book, blue sky, everybody's happy, caution happens. And what happens next?
It wasn't good. Really?
It wasn't good.
For a lot of drives.
Do we have a picture of that?
Yes, we have a picture of that.
Do we have something we can show?
Before the incident.
Oh, but you still want to back up about? Okay.
Denny Hamlin.
Can we show him the picture? I'm going to show him the picture.
As with about 25 laps remaining, he had an issue with his front tire.
Right. Okay.
It went down. He slammed into the wall.
Okay.
That ended his day. He was finishing. He was at 6 at the time, and you think he was going to finish maybe in the top 5.
I think your girl Danica was in the top 10 when that happened too. I don't know what happened to her. She was up there for a while.
Danica finished 24th.
She was up in the
23rd.
10th.
Some other notables.
So what happened? I want to hear about your assessment of lap 385.
So I will get. But Hamlin said all this, and that's important. Because if everybody stays the same, we don't have what happens at 385. So Hamlin caused this issue.
Okay.
He ruins his day, and he also ruins Jimmy Johnson's day. Because
he did not ruin Jimmy. Jimmy Johnson ruined Jimmy Johnson's day.
Well, listen.
Well, somebody may have lived under a rock on Sunday, and they may not have known. Can you tell the viewers what Jimmy Johnson did?
Well, I'll tell you the first thing that he did.
He's never going to get to this. We're going to blame Denny Hamlin. Kyle Petty's going to be blamed in a minute because of something he did. Can we get this guy? Lap 385.
Jack.
Yes.
He went into the pits. He went into the pits.
Are we talking about?
Yes.
Are we finding at 385 yet?
We're getting to that.
Okay, we're getting that.
So anyhow, you're a mess. So, okay, Johnson goes into the pits. This sets up everything. Juan Pablo goes into the pits.
Yeah, that's right.
Johnson started 24th. Montoya started ahead of him.
Right.
So he had a better pit stall.
Okay.
So what happened is the crew for Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus, when they went into the pits, they were slow. And on exit, Juan Pablo exit out number 1,
Right.
Johnson in the second position. And now we're getting to...
lap 385.
Yes.
You know, we'd still be, if we were doing this race live, we'd be on lap 50 right now at Dover. You know that? Monday or Tuesday, and we'd be on lap 50.
We had to set everything up.
Okay, so we're set
Somebody
up
didn't-
now. Okay.
Some people didn't see the race on Sunday.
Well, that's why I was asking you.
So that's why we're
So
setting everything
then
up.
this happened. So look at this. I took this picture. Now what's going on? Now why on a restart? Why is that little blue car so far ahead of everybody else?
Well, I
Are you
have his
supposed to do
quote.
that?
I have his quote. So here I'm going to read it for you.
Holy stuff! I just cost myself $175,000. Is that what he said?
He said a lot.
He did say a lot. I was listening to it on the radio.
After the race, I'll give you just a little bit. We're not going to go in all of it. He said, I was half throttled for the whole front stretch. At some point, I got to go. I'm not sure if his car broke or he's off power or spun the tires. I'm running half throttle down the front stretch, waiting for him, and he never comes out. So at that point, we got to get back going.
And he got back going because when he got to the start finish line, he had 4 car lengths on everybody. And then what happened?
Well, at the time, they were blaming Chad Knaus because Knaus was telling Johnson, "You just got to go." Johnson at the time, he was taking his time.
He
and
had the car. He had the car to win this
you,
race.
You better go.
He had the car to win this race.
So
You think he was holding him back?
I think he kind of was. It looked like he
It
was
was
not
very
going
effective.
full throttle, and he was just kind of, we'll say, coasting, and he kind of baited Jimmy Johnson.
But now
Because
Jimmy Johnson
knew he had
Johnson
to wait for him, and
should
he did
know
not.
a
He
little
got the
bit
best
better
out.
than that.
If you look throughout the race, they were beating and banging. So at that point, instead of, because Juan Pablo, he's on his contract ends at the end of the year, he couldn't wreck Johnson. Now he has, he's known for
Were
his
they all on
temper.
tires? Were they on fresh tires, all of them?
Yes.
They were all
well, Juan was and
Okay.
Johnson.
Okay.
Not saying the whole field, but those two.
Those two were.
They went in, yes. So at that point, you could tell Johnson had the faster car, but I think Juan played the mind game smarter. We'll say
Smarter.
at that time, and when Johnson got out with that lead, I guess the rule is when you jump out, the leader you have to pull back at the time and let the leader catch up with you, and then.
Jimmy Johnson, and he has to do what?
He had to go through the pits, and that wasn't
So
good.
he went from first place to...
That black flag really ruined his day. He
Yes.
finished 17th, but he wanted that 8th victory at the Monster Mile.
$175,000 in winnings. However, if you talk about media coverage, he got more media coverage from losing that race than he ever did winning. But that's not even the rest of the story, because Montoya's car was not. It really didn't have it.
No,
I mean, and out of nowhere, I don't know where he started, but
Tony
came
Stewart.
out of nowhere to win this race.
He'd been back.
He was back in the 20s, wasn't he? I mean, did he start back that deep? Do you know?
I think Stewart was back there. I'm not exactly sure, but they weren't even mentioning Stewart. He was an afterthought. They weren't. They didn't think he had a
And
fast
I
car.
thought-
In practice he was slow.
Did you? And I thought, I mean. Take second. I mean, he snuck in there at third, but he was right up on Montoya's rear coming into those last couple laps, but for some reason backed off. But it was one of the best. It was one of the best finishes we've seen at Dover in a while. A lot of controversy. The fans were into it. They were screaming and yelling.
They were that.
And it was a great day. We can't say it enough that these races and what they do for Dover, and I had an opportunity. I was talking to some of the folks at Dover Downs on Sunday. They're trying. I mean, it is an user-friendly, more fan-friendly. This is a big deal for Central Delaware. It's a big deal for all of Delaware. And we really need to find a way to make sure that these races don't go somewhere. Great family thing. It's a great thing to do. And I don't think the stands, I mean, what did you think? How were the crowds when you were there? They were okay.
Well,
not the 130.
Looking at the race on of the season, cable snapping, which was a good thing.
Cablegate. I asked Bobby Allison about that. I said, Bobby, have you ever had a camera come down on you? He said, nope. He said, that's a new one for me. That never happened while he was.
Was very close to Gordon, and Gordon, I think, was a little leery that Bush could zip past him to take a spot away from him. So he played cautious, and he just elected to stay in that third spot. That was a good finish for Jeff Gordon. Mm-hmm. And Juan Pablo, he did not want to wreck. He wants to have some good finishes. So if Chip Ganassi does not re-sign him,
Do we have the clip? Now, they didn't quite win the race.
Mike Wallace had a bad day.
Well, the car was sponsored by Medding Seafood, a great local seafood, and Iron Source.
Milford.
And Iron Source, which
That's Ken Adams.
It's owned by Ken Adams. When you advertise in those races, you either want to do one or two things.
You want to win.
Win, or if you're going to lose the car, get on ESPN. And
have a big wreck
and apparently
and get on ESPN.
This
one race deal just at the Monster Mile. It's not going to happen at other tracks.
But it was slightly exciting. That race, because when it hit the wall, it buckled up, and the hood just was like a walking billboard. And if you really want to be into racing, of course, I was talking to Ken Adams, who is owner of Iron Source in Georgetown, and we need to see if we can get those guys on the show to get their perspective, because I understand they got to go down in the pits and do all sorts of good things and really get the inside of racing. So maybe we can work on getting them as a future guest. But they were very excited about getting all this ESPN airtime because
right.
Channel 10 picked it up. It was on the ESPN. It was really exciting where they
it was neat because
tore the car up pretty bad, but
On Friday, we got to see the Meddings car as they were working on it, getting it prepared for Saturday's race. As I got to interview Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Oh, did you? Oh, I saw that. I did see that.
Great sponsor, Oath Keepers.
And ESPN try to hire you away while you were there? No,
I don't think it would take too much. A good contract, and I'd be there in a hurry.
Well, maybe.
Some tennis. I do.
Okay.
Sharapova, she's one of the best.
She's cute.
She's talented.
She's talented. Okay, what about the points? Johnson's still on top, right?
Yes, he's
by
number one.
By 17 or 18 points because good old Carl, where he ended up real deep. So he's second, right?
He's still second, yes.
Okay.
Third, Clint Boyer. Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick in the fifth spot. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Casey Kane seventh. Keselowski 8, 9 Kyle Busch, 10 Paul Menard, 11th Jeff Gordon after the third place finish.
That's pretty good.
At the Monster Mile, as that race was the FedEx 400 benefiting autism.
And you were at the golf tournament.
Yes, I was at the golf.
You were at the golf tournament. That was a great event. It was at DuPont
Yes.
Country Club. Little known secret, it was won by a team from Seaford, Delaware. The guy that owns Burgers and Beans, which I think is quickly becoming Colin Wall's replacement kitchen, based on what I see on Facebook. Oh, you have this queued up? Oh, look at this. Look,
This
is
is from Saturday's
That's the
race.
Saturday's
at the
race.
Monster
Look
Mile.
at this. Is that a beautiful... Look,
Medding Seafood.
Medding Seafood all over ESPN.
That's Mike Wallace in the 01 car.
Isn't that wonderful? Phone number and everything. Isn't that
It's
wonderful?
not wonderful for Mike Wallace.
There's
but
Iron
Medding
Source on the
Seafood,
side.
and there's Iron
We're going to
Source.
key this up and get these guys that own, or not own this car, but sponsored this car here. And this was not a pretty...
He gets sideways, and you see the smoke, and
He got pushed, too, if you saw it. He
he ended up
he
in
got
the
pushed.
30s in that race, so it was not a very good day for Mike Wallace.
There's those new spongy walls.
Safer barriers.
Yep,
So glad
So-
they had that.
that hurt. That hurt.
You see Iron Source.
There it is, right on the side. These guys are up in the box going, isn't this great? We got free advertising.
You better not be saying that.
No,
because
no,
it's
no.
not
Hey,
great.
nobody was
It's
hurt.
not great, so okay.
Nobody was hurt.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Nobody was hurt.
Because
Car
if
got
you're
a little
Mike
bit of
Wallace,
damage.
you wanted to win that race. That's what it's all about.
Either win or get on ESPN for 30 seconds. One thing or the other. Thank you.
You never want
Thank
to
you,
wreck.
Team Bieber. So,
Finish up into points, 12th, Erica Amarola, driving for Richard Petty Motorsports in the Fame 43 car.
and what's up this week? Where are we going this week? Where's NASCAR going this week?
Party at the Poconos
Party
400.
at the Poconos.
Long Pond, Pennsylvania.
You going? Sketch It Live going?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, their budget's a little tight right now.
Their budget shot.
They're spending all their money on the community forum. What else we got on NASCAR? What else we need to wrap up to get the Spinning Wheels Racing Report in the box?
I think that'll do it. But Danica Patrick, as you mentioned, she finished 24th.
She was in the top 10 for a while. And I don't know if it was through cautions or something, but there was a while when that car was up in the top 10. Now, could have been because she skipped a pit and was running on fumes, but she was there for a while. So
She's just a rookie. She's battling her boyfriend, Ricky Stenhouse, in the rookie honors. So one of them will be the Rookie of the Year. We'll have to see. Right now, I saw the other day Ricky Stenhouse in the lead, but we'll see if Danica can catch up.
Danica's better looking than him.
Certainly, she's a female. Anybody would say that.
She is. So, you want to wrap
Well,
up?
we're all out of time.
We're all out of time, but did just before we leave, and I know with Spinning Wheels, did you see our Delaware girl, Deladon? Have you watched any of those games?
Talking about you and Deladon, okay.
Deladon. I mean, Chicago Sky. The opening night was on ESPN. They beat she played her number one pick.
Yes. Brittany
Sky,
Griner.
and spanked them around. I think the Sky's undefeated.
Phoenix Mercury.
I think the team's undefeated. They're coming to Washington sometime. I hope that a lot of Delaware fans go over and watch when Deladon comes. But what I love about this story. What I love about this story is they always said, well, she played for Delaware, she's never going to make it, and she's never going to play in the WNBA. And if you saw her in any of those games, that girl can play basketball.
She was the heart and soul of that
And
program.
she can play with those girls. And I think her first game she scored 20-some points. So we're going to keep talking about Deladon as long as we finish up on this car.
That's fine.
But
She
that's
was the second overall selection. That's a big thing, the WNBA.
to come from a little school, University of Delaware.
Yep.
It's fantastic. I think that's
Rich
all.
Gannon also came from there, and Joe
Yes, he did.
Flacco. So that school is
It's,
prestigious at this time.
yes, it is. Not too many little Division 1A schools or whatever can say they've got such talent like that on the roster. So, anything else tonight, sir?
We're all out of time, so we've got to wrap it up as you've been listening to the Spinning Wheels Racing Report.
Welcome back to Jimmy's Grill. We are Catch It Live. We're here in the beautiful town of Bridgeville, Delaware. Eric is back in the kitchen working. No, he's not. He's standing at the counter. I'm Jack Riddle, pinch hitting for bocce ball man Weller, who is right now in the division finals of the NCAA bocce ball interregional super athletic Division 5 finals. I think he's got 5 teams in the event, and he's playing big. And we are welcomed by, I believe, and somebody told me this today, by this young man who happens to be a school resource officer in Milford, correct?
Yep.
Mr. Joey Melvin. But he's become a pretty local expert on policing in schools and some of the things. I know you've been involved with a couple national kind of charities, and I think I want to talk about the Rachel's thing that you've been involved in. But why don't you Joey, why don't you give us a little feel on like what you do every day and how that fits into keeping a school safe?
Okay. I'm the school resource officer for the Milford School District, employed by the Milford Police Department. I fall under the Community Policing Unit, and my assignment is to be in the school full time. I know the Milford Police Department's had an officer in the schools for probably every bit of 20 years, and that's something that the police department has provided to the school. It's been a program that's been constantly evolving.
How long has that program been going on?
We probably have an officer in there, I know that at least probably 15, 20 years at minimum. Just a full-time officer dedicated to the school district. And I cover all 7 schools in the district, from Morris Early Childhood in Lincoln all the way to the high school. And the responsibilities of the SRO, the way we're trained through the National Association of School Resource Officers, we have a triad we learn under. The first is law enforcement, and so we're responsible for any crimes that are committed on any of the campuses.
And you are a trained police officer.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
yep.
So you're not just some guy who. I mean, you are a police officer.
Yep. I'm a Milford police
So
officer.
they allow you to carry an arm?
We're full uniform, carry a gun. We just pretty much came off patrol, and I have this assignment. So, like I said, we're in the schools. We are law enforcement, but a lot of people just believe we're an armed presence. And that's not at all, not even near what we do. We are there for the safety of everybody, but the way we are taught as a school resource officer is we go in there, we are law enforcement, we are a presence, but we also are educators and informal counselors.
And you work in 7 schools?
Yeah, we have 7 right now. The middle school will be shutting down and moving over to the academy next year, so we'll be down to 6 schools. But right now we cover all, and the program's actually getting ready to expand. The district just approved an additional 3 more school resource officers in the Milford district.
Wow!
To assign to various schools, so that every school is covered.
Now, is this? Do you think is it in direct response to what's been going on? I mean, we've had some very serious problems.
Newtown? Yeah.
The Newtown problems.
Certainly that's
starting with Columbine. I mean, is it a response to that? Is that why you're getting additional funding?
Certainly that's a piece. I mean, absolutely. People see that, and you see a lot of legislation. You see a lot of additional cops in the schools and security. So everybody wants and expects their kids to be safe when they go to school. When you mention an officer in a school, a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand why. Why do we have a cop in the school? But like I said, the way our approach is, and like I say, we train under the National Association of School Resource Officers.
So you're specially trained. You're not just a guy that was running radar last week. You've got a special background in how to deal in the school environment.
Yep.
Which probably is. It is a kind of different mindset.
It's its own community. It's its own. Those kids, those students and the faculty. It's its own community. So you have your own climate in every school. Every school has its own issues, and we're there to deal with it. We're a great liaison between the community and the school, the police department, the students, their parents. We build a rapport. It's a great opportunity to break down a lot of barriers for students. A lot of these children, unfortunately, only know us from hauling their parents out of the house.
Or when there's trouble.
And when there's trouble. And we don't want them to know us by that. and we break down those barriers and have those students know that we're approachable.
Now, how long have you been doing this, Joe?
This is my third year.
Third year?
Yep.
Third year?
Yep. It's been a joy. It was my career goal. This is my 11th year as being a police officer in the state of Delaware, and I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Have you seen any changes locally since Newtown occurred? Is there a different feel in the schools? I mean, did it really? I mean, I know for the days after that, people got affected.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that influence still kind of lingering?
It still is
in your school district.
It still is with the with Newtown. It struck a whole new level by hitting an elementary school. Everybody just I think assumed that would never happen. If you talk to most school resource officers and stuff, we all knew that was a possibility because we know and we train and we study cases and stuff like that. We know what's expected. We know what the possibilities that were coming. So unfortunately, when it happened, I wasn't totally shocked. It was a shame, but we've learned anything about these active shooters is their number one goal is mass casualty, and they want the softest, easiest targets they can get.
And was there any security at that school?
Newtown had SROs. They do have school resource officers, but they weren't on that campus at the time. So they were at the high school. They were I think 10 minutes, not too far away from there. But they didn't have their presence on that campus that day.
So, what is your opinion on? I mean, should there, if it was all up to you? I mean, is it worth putting an SRO in every school?
I, of course, am a huge advocate for my position because I know the relationships I've built with the kids. I wouldn't do it purely as a knee-jerk reaction to Newtown. I think that's the wrong reason. But if a school resource officer is in every school and they can build that rapport, they can become an educator to those kids and teach them safety.
Yeah, you're an extension of the teaching staff.
Exactly. In the classroom often, whether it's talking about alcohol, drugs, and just really promoting good choices with these kids. And sometimes, we're not disciplinarians at all, but we work with the disciplinarians, and that's that informal counseling piece. Whereas, if a kid's made a bad choice, I step in and talk to him and counsel the kid and explain to him, hey, if you were 18 and out of school, you may be getting arrested right now. And that can have a huge impact on that child and really help take them very forward.
Do you think there's younger kids seem to be getting in more trouble? And I don't know if it's just my read of the situation, but it does appear that there's a little bit more anxiety and a little bit more turbulence in our schools than there was 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, I have no gauge of that, to be honest with you. I mean, I was...
you were in high school.
Huh?
You were in high school.
Yeah.
Young and you.
Yes. But like you say, and when I said each one's its own community, it truly is. And you can read. And, like I said, we're a huge advocate for the safety. The comprehensive school safety plan that the governor put out, the SROs all had a huge part.
How many SROs are there in Delaware? Does every district have one?
No.
So some districts today don't even have one of you in their system?
Correct. Yeah, more and more are trying to get it. It's an expense. I can tell you the Milford Police.
You are a City of Milford employee?
City of Milford employee.
Okay.
And when I mentioned and talking about the expense, the City of Milford has funded this school resource officer position for the past 20 years.
Wow.
Which is unheard of. Typically, your districts pay for that officer. They reach out to whatever agency covers their jurisdiction and pay them. So the City of Milford has really stepped up. And now the district, following that lead, has said we want to add 3 more.
What about other districts? I mean, you're going to have 3 in Milford. What about the other districts in Milford? Do you know?
I have heard of some other districts wanting to add some more.
Seaford have one?
Seaford has one, yeah.
What about Cape?
Smyrna has one. Cape does not have one.
Cape does not?
Cape does not. They have had one in the past. At this point, they do not have one. But I'm pretty sure there's discussion in every district about bringing on school resource officers. And I think people realize the value.
There was also a while, and I'm really interested, Joey, in your take on this about whether administrators or teachers should be trained or allowed to have firearms. What do you think about that?
Well, I think with anything, I know myself, I train, and I have to train a lot. I have to be proficient with my firearm, but more than that, I have to be mentally prepared for what I may have to do. And when I say
That's
that,
tough
when I say
training.
that, you know, I have to know that if I go into a situation, sometimes depending on active shooter, I may have to walk by kids that are screaming for my help, or I may have to engage with somebody while there's a bunch of other children around. The question is, are the people that you want to arm in these schools, will they have that training? And
Well, you know they're not.
they're not.
They're
will
not.
You be, will
It's
you be
gonna be
mentally
very-
prepared? Yeah. And could that flip? So not to say it's a bad idea, but those will be my concerns. You know, because
You don't want to give those weapons.
Yeah,
unless
you're going to
train.
respond the way you train. So if you don't train, but you just walk around with a firearm, you know that may not be the best idea. But
If somebody is interested in law, and I assume talking to these kids coming through that, you may interest them in a career in law enforcement.
yeah, I'm approached all year long by a lot of kids. Everywhere from the elementary school kids that just want to know what it's like to be a police officer to your high school seniors that are really thinking about what they're going to do with their life. And there's a lot of opportunities. Just a couple weeks ago, there's a program called the state police puts it on called Trooper Youth Week, and they use the school resource officers as a tool. They contact me. State police contacted me, asked me if I can distribute applications in my school, which I did, and the kids that applied, and I explained the program. It's a week academy, pretty much.
Well, that's
Kids,
a great
kids
idea.
apply and are selected that are interested in law enforcement and get to go up there for a week. So that's a prime example of a way for those kids to come in. Same thing with seasonal programs. Dewey has the seasonal program, Rehoboth, Lewis. We have our own seasonal program. A lot of those towns reach out to the school resource officers, say, hey, can you get some applications? And we can help guide them to some kids that we know would be a great prospect and have an interest in law enforcement. So,
And I think it does lower the barriers. You're right. I mean, most of the time when you pull up to somebody's car, or you are out on your non-school activities, it's not a good time.
yeah. It's like I say, falling under that community policing unit, that's huge.
And how did you decide that's where? Did you always know that's where you wanted to be, Joe?
I did. Yep. I started my law enforcement career in my hometown of Milton in 2002, and I knew from day one that I had known some school resource officers, and I just knew that. And I've always loved educating children. I've always really had a passion for that, and I just knew moving forward that's what I wanted to do, and so that as I went through my career, I focused all my training towards dealing with children and the school resource officer program. And luckily, when I got into Milford a couple of years after, the position became available, and I tested for it, and they chose me. Luckily,
Is that the normal? You've got to be a police officer first, right?
Right.
I mean, you just can't decide to be an SRO.
Right, right.
You've
It's a
got to
special
be a
unit.
trained police person.
yeah, just
first.
like a detective, or if you want to go into the drug unit or anything like that, it's a special unit. And that's what you fall in.
Now, there's also something that I know you're involved in, and something to do with Rachel.
Yeah.
What's it called? Rachel's Challenge?
Rachel's Challenge,
Rachel's
yeah.
Challenge.
Yeah.
So what's Rachel's Challenge all about?
Rachel Scott was the first student shot and killed at Columbine.
How long ago was that?
And
been now?
that was
that been-
1990. Let me get it
Been
right.
20 years?
Yeah, almost.
Wow.
And she was the first one killed, and some interesting facts came out after. She was a huge advocate for reaching out to people that normal people didn't. Whether it was a special needs kid, she would reach out. She would give them a hug every day, whether she knew them or not. And all this stuff
She
came
was a student
forward
or
after
teacher?
she was a student.
Student.
Yep. And all this stuff came out. Across this country, so they're very busy, set with the same message. So, and they speak from.
But it's not just a one-day thing. It's to create an environment, and then you and your team and the teachers and whatever, they keep it going.
And we've all heard motivational speakers, Jack,
right.
and you're uplifted and you're excited, and then you go home and you wake up next morning and you treat your day like any other. And, you know, this program helped continue that. You know, take that message and keep it going.
If somebody was interested in finding out more about that for their school district, is there Rachel's Challenge?
Yep.
And where is it out of? Do you know?
They're out of, I think, Plano, Texas.
Plano, Texas.
And like I say, and you know, go on YouTube, look at a lot of their videos, a lot of their promotional videos. There's a great way to just look Rachel's Challenge up, and you can see a lot of pictures of her and a lot of her friends speaking. So it's a good way to.
How old was she when this happened?
She was, I think.
You know, being a positive force in police enforcement, and also you're doing something August 6th.
Yeah, August 6th. Our department under the community policing unit, we have what's called Milford's Night Out, and what it is, it's a night out against crime, is what we call it, and they do it across the country. August 6th. Police departments all over the country do this the same night, and what we do, it's a night that down in Bicentennial Park, right in Milford. Right down by Walls's, you know. So if you're at Walls's, you come right over.
So when you pull your car into Walls and get your car serviced.
Yeah, get your gas, right?
Well you don't sell gas.
Or does he bring it?
Not gasoline anymore, propane.
Propane, right?
Propane,
yeah. So yeah, right next to them, and it's a totally free event. And it's an event that the police department sponsors that we put on. I've got the Funsters coming. So,
Funsters?
See, I don't mess around.
Is Dickie Messick in the Funsters?
He does.
Is he second stringer first? I can't figure that out.
He plays bass.
I don't think he knows. I think it's all
But I can never hear him.
I can't hear it either.
No.
But I don't think it's plugged in.
But no. But he's usually in the back. He's usually in the back. So Funsters will be there, which always brings a great crowd. And we have moon bounces, games for the kids. We feed everybody.
But there's a message.
The message is just building our relationship with the community, which is huge. Just like an SRO does in the school. A lot of people in the community are afraid to approach us.
There's food too, right?
Food and music.
Food, music.
And we bring 6 to 8. 6 to 8.
6 to 8
and we
on
bring
August 6th.
And we have
Catch It Live should be there.
Catch It Live should come there.
It's a Tuesday though, and this is our Catch It Live.
We'll do a live feed. Take your iPad.
Can you start doing this on Tuesdays, Jack? You know what? Jim's not here. We can make an executive
Why don't we
decision.
make some changes?
Yeah, if he really.
Tomorrow, Weller's everything for $1.
Where's he at?
He'll be here in a minute.
Yeah, but no, it's great. And what I do is I bring in a lot of state agencies as well. The Child Predator Task Force, American Red Cross, and have them all set up tables. Highway Safety, University of Delaware Safety Extension usually has a bike rodeo. We'll have a couple fire trucks there, Fish and Wildlife, and we do all this to bring all these agencies out for the community if they have questions about this stuff. Like I say, you come out, get something to eat, enjoy yourself, listen to music, get some questions answered, and try to build that family feel.
Is there a rain date for that if it rains? What happens if it rains?
It's not going to rain, Jay.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Remember that positive thing we talked about like 5 minutes ago?
Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
I'll start doing your
Well, we're gonna check and see. We might be able to do remote from there. So we're gonna check on it.
If we get an internet
That'd be good.
connection with an iPad,
we can work that out.
We can do that.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Do
we need to take a break? Because there's another subject I want to talk to Joey about. Why don't we take a break? We're live here at Jimmy's, and we've learned a lot about what being an SRO is, but we're going to find out something else that maybe you don't know about this guy that I happen to know. We're live here at Jimmy's Grill. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Jimmy's Grill at Catch It Live. I'm here with Joey Melvin, who is the school resource officer for Milford, and he's been telling us about all the things that he does during the day and during the weekend. But we thought we'd spend about 5 minutes talking about the other side of this man, who is a family man, lives on Collins Pond. I don't know anybody want to do that, but he does out there where Linda says you catch fish. I don't believe that either. But I happen to know that there's another side of you that you hide behind a lens sometimes.
I do.
You are a wildfowl photographer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And a pretty good one from what I've seen. You've had some of your art picked up by Ducks Unlimited, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And was it in the national calendar?
Yeah. 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 I had a month in the national calendar last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's many people that are in Jimmy's Grill tonight that can actually say that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, you do wildfowl. So what's your favorite bird to chase? Or is it birds?
The most challenging is the wood duck.
Wood duck?
Yeah, which is where I live. They're plentiful, but from a very, very, very tough bird to capture with the exact lighting and timing and stuff. So. But other than that, I really enjoy the pintail.
Do you get a chance to do much of that?
What's that?
To go out and shoot?
Yeah, I try. I try to time it when one of my little guys is tired but don't want to go to bed, and I can put him in the truck. Tell the wife that I'm going to take him for a ride where he goes to sleep, and I'm shooting.
And I also know you've been pretty generous with some of your photos because I've seen them. They sell them at auction. Mm-hmm. You're very generous with making those prints available so people can put them in. They're just gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Some of your work is any of it online? I mean, if somebody wanted to go look at it, is
there
a website out there?
I've got I actually have a Facebook page, Joey Melvin Wildlife Photography. So it's a page I created just to share the pictures, and if people want to order prints, that's fine. But at this point, I just try to get better and better as an artist, and the more I can get published, that's my main goal was just to
getting picked up by Ducks Unlimited. I don't know how many.
That was huge.
How many pictures were submitted?
Yeah.
But there had to be hundreds of thousands out there.
Yeah, that was nice. It was nice.
You were one of 12.
Huh? Yep, that was great. That was a big deal, and they actually grabbed 2 of them that calendar. They put a smaller one in one of the other months. So that was great. It was a great feeling. It was a funny story because I had just gotten home from a contest that I had entered and didn't place at all. And I got home and I was a little disappointed.
Shows what they know.
I was a little disappointed, and I came home and I had checked my email, and it was the first thing I saw was an email from Ducks Unlimited saying, "Congratulations, you've been chosen to be in our calendar this year." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm all right now."
Wow.
So it was an honor. It was an honor. Remember Ducks
What was that
Unlimited?
picture? I can't remember.
It was a pintail.
Pintail?
It was actually several pintails.
Where'd you shoot it?
Prime Hook Refuge. I do a lot of my shots come from the Prime Hook area. A lot of the riding I do, and I do a lot.
Is that
of course,
Is that his picture?
Yeah, I do a lot.
You guys are pretty amazing.
I know, they're quick.
They are quick.
And like that there, that was on a hunt. And what I do is I do a lot of waterfowl, and I'm an avid hunter. But what I found was, and what got me interested in photography was, if I was sitting in the deer stand or I was in the duck blind, I would see all these amazing things and think, wow, I can't share this with anybody, which is okay, but I wanted to. So I purchased a camera, and I started just getting better and better equipment, and started doing more and more research and practicing, and I never go in the woods or out in the field without my camera. I came here with it because you never know when something's going to happen or you're going to see something.
Did you get a picture of the Justin Bieber collection?
That's the Ducks Unlimited.
That's the one that ended up in Ducks Unlimited?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's a way to kind of archive what I see. It's something hopefully I can pass on down to my kids and the people around here know that why we love this area too. It's a lot of fun.
It is a great place to live. So again, the Facebook page is
Joey Melvin Wildlife Photography.
Joey Melvin Wildlife Photography. Mm-hmm. So like it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for coming in and sharing about what's going on in the world of school policing. I mean, it's certainly got a lot of attention. Thank you for protecting those kids. Thank you. And I think you're making a difference outside your own school, which I appreciate. I mean, it takes people like you that can live this and really make a difference in the community. And thanks for sharing your photography. And what is that?
I didn't take that. That's what I do when I get off work.
Ah,
You know,
I see.
That's my backyard, Jack.
I see.
Yeah.
That's proof that he went to the store.
Yeah, I don't Photoshop any of my images, so
Okay,
yeah.
that's a disclaimer. He's got
Yeah.
the little bright lines. Well, Joe, thank you very
Yep.
much for coming
Yep.
in. We appreciate it. Thanks for doing what you do.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing your photography. Colin and I will be back to wrap up the show in a minute. We're live, catch it live in Bridgeville, Delaware, where the spaghetti is still moving out the door. We'll be right back in a short while after this brief commercial.
Welcome back to Jimmy's Grill. Colin Walls, Jack Riddle. We are back, and we just got done talking to, or you just got done talking to School Resource Officer Joey
Great
Melvin.
young man.
Yep.
Great young man, really doing a job up there in Milford. He's reaching outside. He's doing more than just being a positive influence.
Well, he's not just going in and that's his job and he leaves. He's done at 5 o'clock and that's it.
And he's pretty
He's
passionate.
doing a lot more.
Family man,
Yeah.
lives on Collins Pond. Talked about his photography. He's just an all around good Sussex County man.
Yep.
So
Well, he wanted to mention also that He's got a Facebook page.
Oh, that's right.
School
That's right.
Resource Officer Joey Melvin is the name of it. So go to Facebook and search for School Resource Officer Joey Melvin
And then Joey
and like the page.
and like that, and then also like his photography page, which is the Joey Melvin Wildlife Photos or something like that. So
So yeah,
beautiful
really
stuff.
great pictures.
Yeah, and you found him that quick. I was impressed.
Yeah, well,
Way to go,
we
Lieberman.
started typing in Google Joey Melvin, and then all of a sudden Joey Melvin Photography came up. So he's got a pretty big
Well, that's how you
presence.
find it, right
Yeah,
there.
he's got a pretty big presence on Google. So
Great
that's
show
good.
tonight. Great show tonight, Colin.
Was very
Great
good.
show.
Very good. Very informative.
We need to thank Matthew Opaleski. I can't remember his name.
Oh.
Minute introduction to lap 385 by the spinning wheels racing man Anthony Joseph. It took me 25 minutes to get him to the real reason for the race. He's already left the building. And then Joey. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to our executive producer team back over there and the brains to the operation, who never has much to say.
Let's call him by name. Brooks Ritter and, Grant? Grant Pollock, right?
Yes.
How do you say? Is that how you say your last name? Yeah.
I met
Pollock.
Grant as he was a finalist in a youth forum that I
heard
was a
about
judge.
that.
I mean, he's behind the camera here, but don't let him fool you. He's a lot smarter than some of the people in front of the camera, including me. This young man's going places, so you better write that name down because this young man is going places. So
Great. I heard he's going to Ocean City this
you're
weekend.
going to Ocean City this weekend.
Air show.
For the air
Tell him
show.
about that too.
Wow.
Gonna go down.
Civilian air show.
Yeah, sequester kit, so there's no military, all civilian, but they still filled everything.
All right.
Good.
Very good.
Good. America does that sometimes. We also need to, before we leave, we need to remind people about next Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Next Wednesday.
The Catch It Live Community Forum in Milford. We're going to be talking about the budget. We're going to have 4 politicians or whatever you want to call them.
Whatever you want to call them. Okay.
I don't know if they like to be called politicians or
They're
not,
politicians.
but that's what they
Who
are.
do we have? We have John Atkins.
We have, yes,
Representative
Representative
Atkins.
Atkins. We have Representative Ruth Briggs King and Representative Dave Wilson. And we're going to have one more. We don't have any confirmation yet, so I don't want to say any names. But
Some media stars are coming too.
Media
to
stars.
Grill them, to bring
The-
them into focus.
yes, the number one media star, Dan Gaffney, will be there.
Wow.
Delaware 105.9's morning host. So that's a pretty
And then Milford Live.
Milford Live. Brian Shoup from Milford Live. He's going to be the moderator. We also have Brian Dennison from the News Journal. Yep. And then we're going to also have another.
Now you're also going to have a kind of a post review after they get to speak their piece, and you're going to talk about the budget. This is
Right.
all about the state budget, $1.3 billion. Where's it coming from and where's it going? That's really what you're going to drill down.
Right.
And after they get through, you've got a couple experts that kind of are going to be able to parse through it to really drill through what they were saying.
So we're going to
to
get a Republican perspective and we're going to get a Democrat perspective. The
Who's gonna do
Republican
that?
is going to be Jeff Craig. Jeff Craig was a 2012 gubernatorial candidate for
Right,
the
okay.
state of Delaware. He was a Republican candidate. And then we also have John Brady, who is the current Sussex County Clerk of the Peace, but he's also a former House attorney for the state of Delaware. So he has really good inside information, and he's
So this is next
He's
Wednesday.
very knowledgeable
This is next
guy.
Wednesday, June 12th, 6 o'clock. It's a dinner.
it's a dinner. Dinner's from 6 o'clock to
$25,
7
which
o'clock.
includes non-alcoholic drinks, gratuities, the whole deal. $25.
Right.
You're in, and you get those tickets from a website,
DelmarvaTickets.com.
www.delmarvatickets.com.
That's right.
Buy your tickets there online. Show up. Dinner's from 6 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a buffet. Done. Did we mention where it was?
It's at Abbott's Grill. in
Abbott's
Milford.
Grill, Milford.
Yes,
Everybody
fine
knows where
restaurant.
Abbott's Grill. You go to Walls Service Center.
And then go across the
Go
street.
across the street. And that's
That's
where
right.
it is. You stop, get your car serviced, and then go over there. And that's next Wednesday, June 12th. 6 to 7 is for dinner, and then you're going to start the forum sharply at 7, right?
Yep, 7 o'clock sharp. The forum will run from 7 to 8:30. Analysis, or 7 to 8, I'm sorry. And then analysis will be 8 to 8:30, and we can go to 9 if we needed. So, in case Jeff or John get long-winded, we've got extra
Limited
time
tickets
built
are
in.
available, so you want to try to get your tickets
It's
early.
very limited, yes.
So-
Yep, so get your
yeah, 'cause
tickets. I mean, and just the people that are coming, there's going to be that are participating in it. I mean, there's probably, with the Catch It Live team and everybody else, I mean, there's probably a good 20 people going to be there.
And you really want to buy tickets in advance.
Definitely.
To
Don't
prepare
rely
the
on-
room and prepare the thing. This is not a, oh, by the way, show up thing. You really need...
Right. Well, Abbott's
and
Grill
Abbott's Grill needs to
needs a
prepare
head
the
count.
food.
Right.
And $25 for dinner, plus to really get everything you need to know about the state budget in an hour and a half. I mean, that's a great
Yeah,
value.
and to get to be that close and talk to your representatives and just media people. So it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a fun night. So we're really excited about it. We hope it's the first of many. So I know Brian Shoup is really excited about it. He's looking forward to it and wants
That's
to.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So Brooks, is that link up on our website now? Brooks has got a link on the Catch It Live website, so you can check that out right now, and it'll take you right to the tickets to buy them at delmarvatickets.com.
I think we're just about out of time.
I think we are out of time. We will be back here Friday morning. Will you be here Friday morning?
Don't know yet.
Don't know yet. Okay. I'll be here. Jim Weller will be here. Dan Gaffney will be here, and many other of the normal Friday morning
And
casting
the abnormal.
crew.
And the
the abnormal
abnormal crowd
usually
will be here, too.
outnumbers the normal.
True, normally.
But we will be here. We'll be in the back of the restaurant. 5 o'clock. Tune in 5 o'clock to catchitlive.com. We'll have the cameras up and rolling, and you can see what Jim Weller looks like at 5 a.m.
That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
It's in HD, too.
Yeah, wonderful.
That's scary.
Thanks again for joining us tonight. This is Catch It live from Bridgeville. On behalf of Colin and the team over there with the Bieber collection, I'm Jack Riddle with the boss, Colin Walls. Jim, we missed you as normal. You better come home with a trophy, Mr. Bocce Ball. I'm Jack Riddle. We're Catch It Live. We're in Bridgeville. We'll see you Friday maybe, but for sure next Tuesday.
Friday morning, 5 a.m. Tune
Right
us
here.
in. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.